So you're audible.
Okay. So let me take the attendance. It's 5 minutes. Abhishek Singh Chauhan. Abhishek Singh Chauhan. Abhishek Yadav. Adarsh. Akash Kunal. Akshat.
Present, sir. Present, sir.
Anadi Vyas. Okay. Akshat is. Anadi Vyas. Anant Prasad. Ananya.
Present, sir.
Anil Kumar. Anil Kumar. Aniruddha Das.
Present, sir.
Ankita Gupta.
Present, sir.
Anvesh Chauhan. Apan Jain. Arpit. Arvind.
Sir.
Aryan Saini. Ashutosh Bansal. Ashutosh Kumar.
Present, sir.
Ashutosh Kumar Yadav.
Sorry, sir. Ashutosh Kumar Yadav.
Ashutosh.
Kumar Yadav.
Okay. Ashutosh Kumar Yadav present. What about Ashutosh Kumar? Asta Jyoti. Bookwala.
Present, sir.
Patel. Devendra Patel. Devesh Pratap.
Present, sir.
Dhruv Khatri.
Present, sir.
Dhruv Singh.
Present,
Dhruv
sir.
Singh Rawat.
Present,
Okay. Divya Singhal. Gaurav Kasat. Gaurav Pratap Singh.
Present, sir.
Satish Kumar.
Present, sir.
Harsh Bhaktani.
Yes, sir.
Harshit Gupta. Hiralal.
Present, sir.
Hemant Paliwal. Indresh.
Present, sir.
Present.
Indresh.
Present, sir.
Itisha Jain. Jatin Vinod. Jitendra Kumar. Juhi.
Present, sir.
Kanav Bansal. Kirat.
Present, sir.
Keshav Bidavatka. Kushal. Komal.
Present, sir.
Komal.
Present, sir. Present, sir.
Okay. Kumar Sagar.
Present, sir.
Mehul Tyagi.
Present, sir.
Mohit Kumar. Mukul Soni.
Present, sir.
Muskan Dogra.
Yes, sir. Present, sir.
Narendra Kumar. Nishant Mittal,
Present, sir.
Piyush Miglani, Princy Yadav,
Present, sir.
Purva,
Present, sir.
Rahul,
Present, sir.
Ravichandra,
Present, sir.
Ravichandra present. Rishabh Sharma, Rizul Bansal, Romi Agarwal, Ronak, Malavika,
Present, sir.
Sahil Yadav, Sanskar, Parikh, Sarthi Tripathi, Saurabh Singh,
Present, sir.
Shashi Muchkund,
Present, sir.
Shubham Bharadwaj, Shubham Bharadwaj, Shubham Gupta, Shyam Tiwari, Siddharth Mani Tripathi,
Present, sir.
Sumit Vardhan,
Present, sir.
Tarun Trivedi, Vibhu Chacharia, Yashasvi Budhwar,
Yes, sir.
Yugant Kumar, Harshal
Yes, sir.
Shinde. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. Apanjan, sir.
Why Appanjing? You are always you respond later.
Sir, actually, I was submitting assignment in the previous tutorial, so I got late there.
Today
I
is the
joined at
assignment.
12. No, sir. In the previous tutorial.
Okay, no problem. I will give you. Okay, in the previous class, we were discussing a typical linear programming problem. Actually, so how we can solve it? Basically, a linear programming problem consists of a objective function, which is a linear function of the decision variables, and also the constraints are also a linear functions of the decision variables. Okay, so I have just started linear. This problem can be posed in many forms, but the first one which I will just take this. I have given you the standard form in which a linear programming problem can be posed. Okay, any other form can always be converted to the standard form. Okay, so the standard form which we were discussing is that maximization. We are talking a maximize a function z, okay, which is a function of decision variables c1 x1 plus c2 x2 plus cn xn, okay, where x1 x2 xn are the decision variables. Subject to the constraints, we are considering only the less than or equal to constraints. Okay, that means a11 x1 plus a12 x2 plus a1n xn is less than or equal to b1, a12 x2 plus a13 x3 sorry, this should be a21 x1 plus a22 x2 plus a2n xn should be less than or equal to 2, like this, and am1 x1 plus am2 x2 plus amn xn is less than or equal to bm, where this b1, b2, bm are positive quantities. Okay, b1, b2, and also we have all these x1, x2, x3, xn are also greater than or equal to 0, and these b1, b2 are also greater than or equal. This is the standard form. Okay, so this we can make this inequality constraints by adding we can convert this inequality constraint less than or equal to constraints to equality constraint by adding what we call it as the slack variables. Okay, so how many slack variables will be there? If I have to convert this into this thing, there will be m, because there are m constraints, so you will be adding those m values here. That means I can write it now. Plus xn plus 1 is equals to b1 plus xn plus 2 is equals to b2 and so on, plus xn plus m is equals to bm. Okay, and we will add this slack variable. These are called the slack variables. Okay, and we add them with in the objective function as by multiplying with 0 into xn plus 1 plus 0 into xn plus 2 plus 0 into xn plus m. Okay, so now how many variables are there in this set? The total number of variables. There will be n plus m variables, n plus m variables, n decision variables. There will be n decision variables and m slack variables. So if you solve this for all these n plus m variables, but we have only m equations. Okay, if I want to get unique solutions, okay, so what should we do? We have to make among these n plus m variables, we should make n of these variables should be equal to 0, and the rest and we can solve for the rest m variables uniquely. Okay, otherwise if I have m equations and n plus m decision variables, the variables, then you will have infinite solutions. Okay, there will be infinite solution, but you have unique solutions. We have to necessarily make n of these decision variables as 0. Okay, the solution in which, okay, where we make n variables as 0 and the rest m you will have non-zero values, and m non-negative or non-zero solution is called a basic solution. A basic solution is that solution in which you have total number of variables is n plus m. Among this, n should be 0 and the other m should be non-zero. Okay, such a solution is called a basic solution. Okay, so this we will come back to this basic solution later. So before we take how we solve this maximization problem, let us solve a simple linear programming problem using a graphical method, get some insight of how the solution is obtained. Then we can discuss if we have more than two variables. Okay. So in the last class, I was giving one example of a linear programming problem. Let us start this again. Okay. Let us say we have I have a piece of land, 200 acres. Okay. So the area is 200 hectares. Okay. I want to grow two crops in this. Okay. So the crop one and crop 2. Okay. The cost of rising crop 1 is 3 units per hectare, and the cost of growing crop 2 is 1 unit per hectare. Okay. And the benefit which we get by selling the yield from crop 1 is 5 unit per hectare, and crop 2 you get is 2 units per hectare. Okay. The total amount of money which is available, okay, for growing this is total money available is 300 units. Okay. So the objective is how in how much area we should grow crop 1 and in how much area we should grow crop 2 such that the net benefits is maximized. Okay. So how can we pose this as a linear programming problem? Hello?
Sir, we can plot the two we can plot the two lines on the graph and find out the solution region.
First formulate the problem, then we will think of solution. What will be the objective function?
Sir,
What will be the
2x1
net
plus x2.
What will be the net benefit from crop 1?
2x1.
So 2 units per hectare. Okay. And here
1
unit per hectare for the second. Okay. So I have 200 hectares of this thing. Let x1 be the area in which I grow crop 1 and x2 be the area in which I grow crop 2. So then what will be the net benefit which I get from this?
2x1 plus x2.
2x1 plus x2. Isn't it?
Yes.
Because x1 is the area, so I get 2 units net benefit. So 2x1 plus x2. So what should I do this? This is the objective function. I have to maximize this. Isn't it? Maximize 2x1 plus x2. So what are the constraints?
3x1 plus x2 is equal to 300.
The total amount of money available is 300. So I need to spend 3 units per hectare for growing crop 1 and 1 unit per hectare for growing crop 2. So the total cost will be 3 times x1 plus
x2.
x2 should be less than or equal to
300.
300. What other constraint I have?
x1 plus x2 less than or equal to 200.
So the total, I cannot grow more than 200 acres. So x1 plus x2 should be less than or equal to 200. And also, what others? x1 and x2 should be
Positive. Greater than
positive quantities.
0.
x1 and x2 should be greater than or equal to 0. Okay. So this is how we can pose this problem as a linear programming problem. So now let me write it here. So our objective function will be maximize 2x1 plus x2 subject to 3x1 plus x2 is less than or equal to 300 and x1 plus x2 is less than or equal to 200 and x1 and x2 greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so this is how. Now let us solve this graphically. Okay, so I take x1 and the x-axis and x2 as on y-axis. Okay, what is the feasible region? That means where you expect solutions. Can we have the solution in the second, third, and fourth quadrant?
No, sir.
No, the feasible region is basically governed by the constraints. Okay. So because x1 and x2 are greater than or equal to 0, so I will have the solution only in the first quadrant. Okay. So these constraints make me to search only in the first quadrant. What about the first constraint 3x1 plus x2? When x2 is, let us say 100, when x2 is 0, what will be x1? Hello?
100.
100. So let us plot this line 3x1 plus x2 is equals to 300. Okay, so I'm just plotting it. So 50 when x2 is 50, 100, 150, 200. So first constant, if you see, okay, when x2 is 0, x1 is 100, and when x1 is 0, x2 is 300. So that means basically I get this. So anything right side of this, can we have a solution?
No.
No,
Because
sir.
it should always be less than 300. So my feasible reason or where I have to look for is now only in this triangle, isn't it? You have to search for solution only in this region. There is no point in searching here because it will violate the constraint 1. Even if you get a solution here, that is not valid because at that point you will be violating this. What about x1 plus x2 is equals to 200? So you will get a line like this. When x1 is 0, x2 is 200, and when x2 is 0, x1, so I will be getting this. Isn't it? So this is, so can we have solution in these two regions, 1 and 2?
No.
No, sir.
Why? Why?
It should
Because
satisfy
One of the
both the
constraint only
conditions.
in
satisfied.
region 1, the first constraint will be violated. Okay. In region 2, the second constraint will be violated. So you cannot. So what is the feasible reason now? The feasible reason is only this, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So you have to look only in this region. There is no point in looking all this. Okay. So now let us consider. So in this region, where do I get the maximum? Now let us take this objective function. We know that 2x1 plus x2. Okay, let us say some constant c. Okay, how will be this? What will be the slope of this line? What is the slope of this line? Minus 2. Okay, this is somewhat like this. Let us say. Let me put some other. This is 2x1 plus x2 is equals to c. Okay, this is the objective function. Okay, so what happens if I increase c? How will this line move? Towards right or towards left?
Right.
It will go on. So as I move
Upwards.
as I increase my c, okay, it will be moving towards. Okay, so you have to go on increasing c in such a way that, okay, it attains a maximum value, but at the same time it falls within this feasible region. So what will be that solution? What is the slope of this line?
-3.
-3.
Yes, sir.
And the slope of this line is -1, and the slope of this is -2. So you will get, if you start shifting this towards right, okay, so you will get a solution here. This is where. So what will be the now the optimal solution? Where do I get? Hello?
At the intersection of the two lines.
At the intersection of these two constraints.
Yes.
Okay. So let me. So basically. So at the intersection of this, so you go on shifting this till it points. So what is this point?
50,
50,
150.
150.
How much?
50, 150.
50, or 150. Okay. So that means at 50, 150, you will be getting the maximum. And what is the maximum value of z, the objective function?
250.
250. You have to use 2 times 50 plus this 100 plus, so the maximum benefit which you get is 250. And in how many hectares I have to grow crop 1? X1 is 50 and X2 is 150. This is what we have got now. Okay, so that means I have to grow 50 in 50 hectares. I have to grow crop 1, whereas in another the rest 150 hectares, if we grow crop 2, we will be maximizing the benefit, and that maximum benefit will be 250 units. Okay, so any other way of growing crops will not yield this much of benefit. Okay, if you look the solution of this, okay, graphically, okay, we can observe some salient features. Okay, one is that for any linear programming problem, okay, the solution occurs. So this whatever I have shown it as with the orange color, this is called the feasible region, or that means what is feasible region?
Where the solution can lie.
Feasible region is that in which all the constraints are satisfied. Okay, you can have a solution here also. Okay, but the problem here is that, okay, if I take this point, a solution here, okay, so you will get some x1 and x2, that is a solution, but it is not a feasible solution. Why? Because at this point the other constraint is not satisfied, so you cannot take this. Okay, so this feasible region is one where all the constraints are satisfied. That means your whatever decision variables you get, okay, so they will satisfy the constraints like this 3x1 plus x2 should be less than, and so all of them should be satisfied. Okay, in linear programming problems, okay, so if I have to get an optimal solution, okay, so I have to search only within this feasible region. No, okay, hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So you have to just search for the maximum or minimum, okay, only in this feasible region. The beauty of this linear programming or the programming problem is that, okay, the maximum occurs only at the corners of the feasible region. Okay, that means for linear programming problem, the maximum or the optimum occurs only at the corners, or at most it may be on one of these sides or on one of these sides. We will see in which condition it will become on these sides. Okay, so this makes our task very simple. Why? This particular characteristics of the linear programming problem makes our search procedure simpler. Why? Simply because there is no need for me to check on. There is no need for me to check. Okay, what is the objective function value within this region? I have to just check only at the corners. How many corners this feasible region has now? Hello? 4. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to check only the objective function value at these four corners, and you will get the maximum. There is no point in checking in between and all those things. So that means basically we can make our search, okay, much simpler. Okay, there is no point in looking for the maximum within this region. So you just concentrate on the corners and the sides. When can it become on a side? When can my solution or the optimum can lie on a side? Can anybody guess?
So when the objective
Function
function is does not contain
line is
one of the variable.
When the
Objective function does not contain one of the variables, I think.
why? Why? It contains. What happens if the objective function is same as means has a similar thing instead of 2x1 plus x2? Let us say if I have a maximize x1 plus x2. What will happen?
Okay, then all the points on that line will satisfy.
So that means basically your objective function is now parallel to which constraint?
Second
First one.
time.
The second one, x1 plus x2. The second one is, so when I make x1 plus x2 is equals to c and I move, I increase, go on seeing what will happen. It will follow. It will at the maximum. It will coincide with the second constraint line, isn't it? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Instead of my
Yes, sir.
objective function, instead of it is 2x1 plus x2, suppose I have x1 plus x2. Then this objective function will be parallel to this constraint. X1 plus x2 is equals to c will be parallel to this. Hello? Are you able to understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So when
Yes,
I
sir.
move this x1 plus x2 is equal to c, when I move like this, so it will be coinciding with this entire side, isn't it? Then any point on this line will be a solution. Okay, so that means you will have multiple solutions. Either it will not be a unique solution, but if this is not a parallel to any of the constraints, then you will get a unique solution. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in linear programming problem, it is always possible the maximum will occur, or the maximum or the optimum will occur either at the corners of the feasible region or one of the sides of the feasible region. Okay, if it occurs in one of the sides of the feasible region, it will have multiple solutions because you will have infinite number of solutions on this point, maybe this point or this point. Okay, so now let us with this background. Okay, so now we can if the number of variables become more than 2, okay, the graphical approach becomes, you cannot use graphical approach. Okay, and there should be some way of moving from one corner to the other corner. Okay, in some systematic way. Okay, so there is one method which we call it is a very popular method. We call it as a simplex method. How did anybody do this linear programming course before? Hello? Or in mathematics, did they teach this linear programming or no?
So not in.
Not in. Okay. Anyway, simplex methods. You people don't know, huh?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. So now let us start with simplex method. Okay. So we'll take this simple example only. Okay. So the simplex method. Okay. So let me take this problem only. We have maximize z is equals to, okay, 2x1 plus x2 subject to, okay, 3x1 plus x2 is less than or equal to 300, and x1 plus x2 is less than or equal to 200, x1 plus x2 greater than 0. Okay, so this is the standard form. First we have to convert this into, so how many constraints are there here? Hello?
3.
There are four
Sorry, four,
constraints.
four.
Okay, this non-negativity constraint we don't consider it. So let us consider there are 2 constraints. Okay. So first let us convert this into a standard form. Okay, what do? We can convert this as maximize z is equals to 2x1 plus x2. So I add some slack variable to this, subject to 3x1 plus x2 plus, let me try, x3 is equals to 300. Okay, and x1 plus x2 plus x4 is equals to 200. So these two, x3 and x4, we call it as slack variable. And what else? We know that x1 and x2. What about x3 and x4? They should also be positive quantities, no?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
So you will have this should be greater than or equal to 0. And we also add these slack variables in the objective function by multiplying with 0. 0 times x3 plus 0 times x4. So my objective function is z is equals to 2x1 plus x2 plus 0 times x3 plus 0 times x4. Okay, where I have added. So here, if you consider this now,
So,
this please.
So here x3 and x4, if they get positive, then the value will become greater than 300.
Which one?
If we put x3 and x4 as positive, then 3x1 plus 3, that LHS will become greater than 300.
Oh, how do you? I am.
Okay,
this
sir.
is
Sorry,
less
sorry,
than or
sorry.
equal
Yes,
to
sir.
300. No.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
I
Okay,
have to add some positive quantity. Okay.
To make it.
So
Yes,
that
sir.
this becomes equal to 300.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
If any x3 value which makes this constraint more than 300, that is not a feasible solution.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Similarly, any x4 which makes this more than 200, x1 plus x2 plus x4, okay, that will not be a feasible solution. That may be a solution, but it is not a feasible because it is violating that constraint. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now we have 4 variables. Okay, so the variables are now 4, x1, x2, x3, and how many equations are there? Only 2, isn't it? The constraints are 2. Okay, the equations are 2. If I solve this, okay, for x1 and x2, x3, x4, you will get infinite solutions, isn't it? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You will get infinite solutions, but we are not in that infinite solution. Some may be feasible, some may not be feasible. But if we have to get unique solutions, so what should we do? If I want to get unique solution,
You have to remove 2 variables.
that means you have to not remove, you have to make 2 variables necessarily equal to 0. Okay. Hello. among these four,
Yes.
you have to force two of these four variables to 0 so that you will get unique values for the rest two of the variables, isn't it? If you make x1 and x2 as 0, you will get x3 as, okay. So for example, okay, if I make x1 is equals to 0 and x2 is equals to 0, okay. So what is x3? x3 is 300 and x4 is 200. My solution is 0, 0, 300, 200. This is unique for this. But similarly, if I make, what happens if I make only x1 and x3 as 0? What will be x2 when x1 is 0? Okay. Tell me how much will be this when x1 and x3 are 0, x2 will be 300. Isn't it? X1 is 0, x3 is 0, so x2 will be 300. Here also x1 is 0, so x2 becomes, x2 is, we have got 300, so x4 will be how much?
Minus 100.
Minus 100. So 0, so my solution will be 0, okay. Then 300, 0, minus 100. Is it a feasible solution?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
Why?
Because all the variables have to be positive and x4 is negative.
Because here I am getting x4 as negative, so this is a solution, okay. Absolutely, it is one of the solutions, but it is not a feasible solution. What about this? Twenty-five. What about this solution?
So it is feasible, but there is no point in checking this. Right?
Exactly. Okay, this is a feasible solution because all the constraints, if you see, these are satisfied, but because it is within this boundary region, okay, if you see the, okay, so to distinguish this solution with this, here in these two things, what are we doing? In these two solutions which I have earlier solved it, we are forcing
Two variables to be 0.
We are forcing two variables to be 0 so that you will be getting the other two values. That means in general, if I have n plus m variables and if I force n variables to 0, then you will have, for other m variables, you have non-negative values, low. Sometimes you get negative also, but 0 also, but that we will see later. Okay, so you can solve uniquely for the rest of the m variables. Such a solution is called a basic solution. Okay, this is also a general solution, but it is not a basic solution because you have all of them non-zero. Okay, so before we start the simplex method, so these definitions are very important. Okay, so let me write it. What is basic solution? A basic solution is one, okay, if we have n plus m variables, okay, and m equations. suppose the solution in which n variables are 0, variables are set to 0, and the remaining m variables are non-zero is called a basic solution. Okay, the non-zero variables in this solution in the basic solution are called the basic variables, and the other variables are called non-basic variables. Called non-basic variables. So in the problem which we just now we discussed, okay, so the solution which we saw is what is that? The x1 is 0, x2 is 0, x3 is 300, and x4 is 200, isn't it? This is what one solution which we got, a basic solution for this problem which we discussed. So here this is x1, x2, x3, x4. So what are the basic variables here? Hello?
X3 and
X3 and X4.
X3 and X4 is the basic variables for this basic solution. They are the basic variables. And x2 and x4 are x1 and x2 are non-basic variables. Okay. So in the simplex method, what it does is it starts from one basic, and all these there will be many basics. Suppose if now here I have made x1 and x2 as 0. I have an option to make x1 and x3 as 0. Then I solve, you will get x2 and x4. That is one more basic solution. Similarly, x2 and x3. So there will be number of basic solutions. So among these basic solutions, some may be satisfying all the constraints and some may be not satisfying all the constraints. Okay, a basic solution which satisfies all the constraints is called basic feasible solution. Okay, a basic solution which doesn't a basic solution which violates even a single constraint is called basic infeasible solution. So now how do we have to solve? We have to go now for the optimum. In linear, the simplex method, what it does is it moves from one basic solutions to basic feasible solution to the other basic solution in a systematic way. Okay, till we get the maximum. Okay, basically if you see the previous example, okay, because my board is small, so I'm not able to put everything here. Okay, so if you see that graphical representation which we did, okay, basically all the corner points, if you get the x1, x2, x3, x4 values, okay, so they will be actually a basic feasible solutions. Okay, so if you see here, something is like this, no, we have this is the corners. Okay, what is the solution at the this origin? What are the values of x1, x2, x3 and x4? For this corner solution, anyway,
0, 300 and 200.
0,
300 and
300 and 400. Okay, I think I will
200.
take it in the next class. Okay, I think it becomes it's already time is over. You people must be tired. Okay, let us stop here. Okay, so I will take this graphical problem tomorrow. Okay, day after tomorrow, and we will discuss it further. What are the basic solutions and what basic feasible solutions before we move to the simplex method. Okay, we'll stop here. Hello. We'll stop.
Yes.
Stop recording.
So